In the last 7 days, Polygon Matic was rising quite a lot. We are looking at a gain of 52%. And in the last 24 hours, we went up by 22%. And this is one of those cases where there's really the question, is it the news that make the charts, or is it the charts that are making the news? Various news outlets are attributing the recent rise with two major events. The first one is the achievement of carbon neutrality by Polygon. So what Polygon did is they cooperated with KlimaDAO, a rebase token project that buys CO2 certificates. And apparently the network has bought those certificates, making the blockchain overall carbon neutral. The second piece of information is the launch of Polygon ID, which helps DAO projects to vote on proposals without disclosing the public wallet address. So before, if you knew the public wallet address, you knew what wallet was attributed to what kind of person. You could then also know what kind of things have they voted on. With the implementation of Polygon ID, this is not the case anymore. But really, is it that much of a fundamental breakthrough? If we just look at crypto Twitter, we don't see a lot of activity around this. Polygon ID is not a trending hashtag at all. The carbon neutrality with a rebase token project, I'm not sure if that's that much of a deal, right? So what I personally think what's actually driving all of this is simply technical analysis. It's simply short-term traders. And we can't necessarily see this from the US dollar chart, right? This is Matic in US dollars. Why would we bounce off of here? We might have some kind of a support from March of last year, but still, this looks kind of arbitrary that we are suddenly pushing up like this, right? That Polygon is one of the best performers in the last 7 days. But once we look at relative performance, and that's, I think, what really matters. Once we look at relative performance to Bitcoin or to Ethereum, the picture looks somewhat different. Here we've got the chart relative to Bitcoin, right? It's pretty different to the US dollar chart. The US dollar chart has way more volatility, right? This is 700% of a change. The relative chart to Bitcoin is much less volatile. So a lot of the movements baked within the Matic token, they are simply just a reflection of the overall crypto market. Here we can see we are somewhat in a slight downwards trend versus Bitcoin, and we simply bounced off this support, right? The trend is intact since May of 2021. We can see something similar in Ethereum. And Ethereum is more like a sideways trading range, but again, we have our support here, and this is then where we are bouncing off. So now with this rise, the current risk of like a 40% underperformance versus Ethereum to the reward of a gain of approximately 50%, it's somewhat balanced. But very often we tend to continue with current momentum, right? And especially given in the current altcoin market where rallies are rather rare and far in between, if we've got one asset that rallies, people tend to jump on this. Now, in the grand scheme of things, altcoins still look pretty dangerous, right? We haven't yet seen in terms of total market cap. So we're now looking at total 3, which is cryptocurrencies market cap minus Bitcoins and minus Ethereums. And we look at that, we haven't yet reached the 2018 top. But when we zoom in over here, we see what historically have been the best moving averages for total 3. So I've run a backtest, a simulation of buying and selling based on different moving averages for different asset classes. And for total 3, the ones you see over here, so in red, the exponential, and in blue, the simple moving average, they historically work the best. We should be outside of the market when the price is below and in the market when the price is above. So far, we are not yet out of the woods, right? Things still look relatively bearish. So even though we did see a 50% increase in just 1 week, this might be, in the grand scheme of things, just a dead cat bounce. At least historical moving averages tend to show that. Now, I've also done back tests on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the best moving averages over here. So same picture, we should rather be risk off. And then here we've got Ethereum, a bit more of a complex chart. We are bouncing off a support, but still negative momentum so far prevails. The question whether or not it makes sense now to jump on this rally for Polygon Matic really depends on your time horizon. Very, very short term, as in 1 or 2 days, which is obviously the hardest time frame to predict. But very short term, this might still continue, right? We still have upside. We are now in positive momentum. But once we go beyond this, the overarching market could still push this down, right? The cryptocurrency market does have a strong influence on Matic, and that's because, relatively speaking, Polygon Matic is a relatively large cryptocurrency, right? It's at market rank 18. The larger the cryptocurrency, the more it tends to be influenced by the general market, right? When you've got a small cryptocurrency, you've got more idiosyncratic movements. So a single whale can pump up the price or dump it. One single news can really influence the price. The bigger the market cap of a particular coin, the more the influence of Bitcoin and Ethereum is noticeable in the price. Another way to express this is the correlation between the returns of Bitcoin and Ethereum to the altcoin increases as the market cap of that altcoin goes up. So that's the fundamental question where I tend to disagree with a lot of other people analyzing crypto. Most people see crypto movements simply being influenced by news, simply being influenced by fundamentals and developments. I think the psychological aspect, the technical analysis, the charts, the relative valuations, they do play a major role. And so if you're interested in learning more around technical analysis, we've got a dedicated course for the premium members. This is not just a course on drawing random lines. This is about evaluating relative valuations. It's about doing back tests. It's about measuring correlations. So it's almost an entry into quant trading. More information is in this video over here. Hope to see you there. And thanks for watching this one. Bye-bye.